I'll just say one thing about the progressive Jews, and you see how it's playing out. So you had Ilhan Omar running in Minnesota, in a very tough race against an opponent who was black, quite far to the left, an immigrant originally. The carbon copy or the perfect profile of somebody the left should really love. Specifically, with Ilhan Omar engaging in a lot of anti-Semitic rhetoric, and there's no way she doesn't know what she's doing in this. You would imagine that progressive Jews would feel comfortable siding with her opponent, who checks all the boxes for progressives, but isn't Ilhan Omar, who's anti-Semitic. And when you look, if not now, J Street, all these progressive Jewish organizations weighed in and supported Ilhan Omar against this other black person who was by no means a conservative, by no means not progressive, just he wasn't self-destructive of Judaism. So that told me everything I needed to know about the role of progressive Jews and how much they really are now turning the corner into a self-destructive ideology. So Joel, do you have anything you want to add to that? Or?
I think that it's important for those that are in leadership in either of the political parties to call out anti-Semitism when they see it. Don't coddle it. And as we talked about in this session here, oftentimes anti-Zionism is the modern manifestation of that, and we have seen wholesale expressions of the most virulent of anti-Zionism with numerous members of Congress, namely Representative Tlaib, who has been a supporter of the PDS movement, and Representative Omar, who infamously suggested that implied that Jews have a dual loyalty between the United States and Israel. This is a slur that goes back even before there was an establishment of the Jewish state. This happened in the Enlightenment era in France, of all places. And we saw her do this. And yet she happens to have a spot, last I checked, on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. So I don't care whether it's Republican or Democrat who is spreading anti-Semitic perspective or commentary. Sure, they have a freedom of speech, but we have a freedom of speech as well, and that goes for every member of Congress. So you use that freedom of speech and counter these anti-Semitic notions, and don't just condemn the remark, explain why it's wrong. That would go a long way.
Juliana, do you have anything to add? Or?
Very briefly, yes. I think it's fair to say that the Democrats are taking the Jewish vote for granted. And one of the reasons they don't really care if they're perceived as anti-Semitic, as some of their members are proud of being anti-Semitic, as has been noted. But I just wish that someone were to stand up. I would have liked to have at the Republican convention someone to get up, as did one of the black speakers, to say, don't take our vote for granted. And as long as Jews continue to pull the lever for Democrats at the rate of 80% of the Jewish vote, they will continue to be disregarded. The fact that the Republicans in general, not everyone, in general, the percentage of Republicans are far more sympathetic to the state of Israel than are not only Democrats, but Jews themselves, is symptomatic of a deep problem within the Jewish community. So the voting in November aside, 2020, I think, is a wake-up call to the Jewish community. What are we all about? Where are what are our principles? So that's my response.